What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa from Red Devilosa Reviews. Today I'm here with my good friend from the YB podcast, Eddie, aka Shaq. What's up, Ed?
You already know what it is. We just have to talk about one of the best Disney Plus shows on right now. There's not a lot. They're coming. The Marvel shows are in the works, but
On the way. But yeah.
as of now, Mandalorian just hits like a truck. We can't. There was only one. There's only one miss this season. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So we haven't really talked about the Mandalorian, and just to I guess address this, this is the first time I'm trying the face reveal for my channel. So if you're hello, and yeah, yeah. So we never talked about the Mandalorian season 1 on my channel, but just like in a comparison, Shaq, like what do you think? Do you think season 1 or season 2? Which one do you think was better?
Season 2.
I think season 2 is better, but
season after I think it was after like the third episode of season 1, they started doing random shit, and then it got back to Moff Gideon at the very end. I don't understand what the point of that shit was. And I know it was like they were like side adventures or some shit, and like it was supposed to be like more common. Like they were trying to build. I think season 1 they were trying to build a relationship between Grogu and Mando or Din Djarin, through a bunch of side quests and stuff. Like you learn stuff about people who are doing stuff you don't want to do or whatever. On that vein, but I feel like season 2 it was like we have to. He's a force sensitive, so we have to find Grogu a master. And it's like the entire season is trying to find him a master. And spoilers,
right.
There's something he does find one. We're gonna tell who it is, but he does.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But let's build it up. I guess like one common thing that I do agree with is that a lot of the episodes feel in a way formulaic, in the sense like every episode is Mando needs something, he finds someone, they say they'll give him this thing, but he has to do this task, and then at the end of the episode he'll get his thing that he wanted, and then he goes off to the next planet, and it's the same rinse and repeat for every episode. You know what I mean, Shaq?
Yeah, it's
like in terms of like every episode would feel the same as in that. No, I get like the show is like based on like a space western, like in a way, like in old western.
To be fair, in season 2 there was an episode that didn't fall. The episode when Grogu got captured, like it just ended with Grogu getting captured. I don't think it didn't end up so it didn't directly follow that thing. Like the entire episode when he's on the Jedi panel,
right?
And like the part. Yeah. So I think that's like the only episode where they didn't follow that thing or whatever. Like that whole like. And obviously finales don't necessarily have to follow that, but that was like
for me, I can understand why they kept doing that, because he is a bounty hunter at the end of the day, and bounty hunters they're not like tied as like they're not good people or bad people. They just do whatever they're told, as long as they get paid and whatever they want. So I understand the whole method, and honestly, it's a really simple way of telling a story in terms of like, do this and you get this, and then you go on your way. It's a bounty hunter at the end of the day. He doesn't have any sort of morals or like any sort of, I mean, he does have some morals, but like he's not really tied down to a side. He just does what he thinks is right, but he'll also do whatever he's paid for. So yeah, and this season had a lot more, I guess you could say, fan service in comparison. Now my one issue that I have is like, what I kind of liked about season 1 was how it was not so tied to all the other movies that we've seen, and I felt like it was a unique direction to take something that we haven't really seen as much. Like I guess like the Mandalorian himself, and then you have Baby Yoda, who we now know is Grogu. And we don't know anything about Yoda species in general, so like it was like an interesting direction to take that. And then they started bringing in a lot of the like stuff from the Clone Wars and the Rebels, and then from the Dark Forces game from 1995 with the Dark Troopers. They even like tied in with the Aftermath trilogy, which is like a book trilogy based on the stuff that happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So when they brought in Cobb Vanth. So yeah, they did a lot of fan service in terms of that. I think they did a pretty decent. I think they did a pretty good job actually with balancing it. That was my only concern. Is like, is all this like fan service going to take away from the Mandalorian himself?
I mean,
And
we know there was
it
fan
kind.
service that
I guess it kind of did, but yeah.
no, we know what fan service you enjoyed though. We
Yeah.
know what fan service you enjoyed though. Just so you
We'll,
know.
we'll we'll get
No,
to
no,
that.
we
We'll get
got
to
we got to speak on it right now. If you guys haven't seen the finale, your boy Luke come back, and he's Grogu's master. Let's just and so how do you feel about Luke Skywalker?
I mean, so I've seen the scene many times. Yes.
Yes, and
Uh,
and how dirty did they do him in right? What was it? Like the Last
the
Jedi.
Last Jedi.
You said you hated how he was depicting the Last Jedi. Did this help
A very
Disney,
yeah.
Disney's credibility with how because you feel like they reclaimed your favorite character, Luke Skywalker?
All I gotta say is fire Kathleen Kennedy, hire Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni as the producers for Star Wars. Like, let's
Whoa,
just
whoa,
say
whoa,
that.
whoa, whoa. So you said she didn't do anything right with Luke Skywalker in the Last
Screw that.
Jedi?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Luke in particular later down the line. I just want to go through everything else, but yeah, Luke does come back, and Luke finally acts like the Luke Skywalker people have been waiting for the last 37 years.
Yeah, that's what I was.
The
Because
yeah,
Mando, the main character, he fights because they try to suck up all the dark troopers, and it's like it's a and then he fights one dark trooper and he almost dies, and like he struggles with it.
like
And you just
he
see
tries
Luke walking,
everything in his arsenal. He tries everything in his arsenal. Like he tries his rocket
it's
launchers. He tries his blasters. He tries like everything that he has in his
except
suit, but
and then he
none of it is
finally kills it because
working.
he stabs it in
And
the
then
neck and like with the Beskar spear.
with the Beskar spear, yeah,
But then Luke
yeah,
comes in, just walking in slow with the cloak and just slashing through him, doing like I
yeah,
think he like destroyed like force pushed a couple. He was just a real bad. He was like
and
he walked in
crushed it. He
almost like
crushed
Darth.
it. Crushed
Yeah,
him.
he
It was
walked in
like
almost like he was Darth Vader. It was like when Darth Vader
yeah,
killed all the
yeah,
when he
like
pulled up
it,
on.
in Rogue One, there was a scene where Darth Vader has a hallway fight as well. It was pretty much a parallel to that, and yeah, like for like I don't know if anybody knows, but like originally there were rumors that Ezra was supposed to come from the Rebels into the show. Now they weren't really clear when he was supposed to come, so this whole time I thought Ezra was going to show up. So I was like, when they showed the green lightsaber, then I was just thinking, are they finally going to make Ezra tight now? Because like I mean, Shaq and I have different opinions on Ezra from Rebels, but that's a different video for another day. But then no, but then you see the black glove and it's Luke.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and
Also, the deep fake they did. I know Disney has money.
yeah,
it looked amazing. Like it didn't even look corny and fake. Like because how they did the deep
yeah.
fakes in
I guess it
the
was a
Rise of
little.
Power.
I guess it was a little
It
noticeable
was
for me.
noticeable
I was so invested with the character himself that I really didn't care about it. I guess like because like they were saying they're saying like Luke is supposed to have a show possibly like it's a rumor still like post Mandalorian and they're talking about recasting him with Sebastian Stan, who is the Winter Soldier for those of you that don't know. Um, and if you ever see like the photos, he looks a lot like Mark Hamill from like A New Hope, and Sebastian Stan said he would like to do it. Mark Hamill himself said that he would like Sebastian Stan to take the role if he wanted to. So there's a lot of blessings for Luke to continue on, and I really hope they do that. Now again, you have the whole sequel trilogy where if you don't remember, Kylo Ren does kill a lot of the students from Luke's academy. So does Grogu make it out alive? We don't really know. I'd like to think he does. He escaped Anakin from Order 66. So maybe he does escape as well from Kylo Ren, but we'll have to wait and see. Or they could just retcon the whole sequel trilogy. I mean,
And the thing is,
I'm totally okay with that.
the thing is, another thing is, I feel like if I'm the Empire, if you just see anything that's a Yoda species, just kill it because it's probably used. It probably has a force, like because it was 100%
Probably has
success rate that anything. It probably like anything that's because we don't know what Yoda species is, but every character we've seen of that type, like Yoda and Grogu, are all extremely strong. Even Grogu, I think they said he's 50, but like that's like a baby. And like because
yeah.
Yoda was hundreds of years old, so it's like
Like
he's still an
when they
extremely
showed him
strong force.
when they showed him the
Yeah,
like captured by Moff Gideon, then he
and
was
he
like
was whooping. He was
he
like
was choking
full
out
slamming.
all the
It was
the
that's what I'm
stormtroopers.
saying.
Yeah,
Like that was OC. That was OC. And
yeah.
he's
Then
like,
he got tired though, but yeah,
the
he's
crazy
still
thing
young.
is, like, if you think if Grogu must really love Mando because if Grogu could really put the hands on Mando. Like, if you
He
think
could.
about like, 'cause the Force is just that strong. Like I like, and I understand the Mandalorians. They all their devices are used to stop Jedi, but it's like they're only like even the dark saber that comes up too, and
Yeah,
that's probably gonna lead into because isn't didn't you say next Christmas we're gonna get season 3?
that's the projected
Yeah.
date.
So, but like
Actually,
that's gonna
no. They just said they're going to focus on. So John Favreau just said they're focusing on the Book of Boba Fett first, then they'll do Mando season 3. So it might move Mando season 3 later. So
I mean, it's a whole year. I feel like
yeah,
I feel like the Boba Fett series might come out during the summer, maybe depending on if they're
uh,
working on it
yeah,
now.
they did. It did say December 2021.
That's
Uh,
when Boba Fett's coming out, bro.
yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, if this is
Uh,
Mando,
we'll, we'll come back to post Mandalorian in a bit. So yeah, we talked about we kind of touched on the dark saber. So you're a little bit more versed in Rebels than I am. So if you know, there was a fight between Moff Gideon and Mando, and Mando easily bested him. Uh, and then when Mando tries to give the dark saber to Bo-Katan, Bo-Katan does not want to take it, and Moff Gideon reveals that because she didn't beat him in the battle, she cannot take the dark saber because the dark saber is considered as a legacy thing. Like, it's not about like holding the dark saber; it's about like how you got it, like how you defeated the previous owner to obtain it. I do like how they do explain the lore of the stuff from if you didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels, they
yeah.
would explain it to you like as if for the first time for those who had never seen those shows and they go into
And
Mandalorian learning about the
for
dark
everybody who
saber.
doesn't, Dark Saber is basically the man because for some of the Mandalorians, their entire kit is used to because they were Sabine was talking about it, right? But they're because in Rebels on the king, like my entire kit is used because she's ex Mandalorian, whatever, is used to defeat the Jedi, and they're basically all their tools suck. Let's be real. Like the fucking grappling hook that's supposed to wrap
Yeah,
them up, and then the flamethrower who they just block with their light. But the dark saber is basically a lightsaber because there's a
yeah,
fight scene in Rebels where it's where Kanan, this is blind Kanan, he's dueling Sabine and we're gonna talk about that I don't like that, but whatever. And
yeah.
like he's almost like even though he's
So
training the force and force, like I know she's force sensitive or whatever, but he's training the force. It's like they're almost equivalent, and that's kind of how I felt like the dark saber. It's interesting. It's obviously gonna have more impact in season 3, but I feel like in
yeah,
season 2 it was just like, oh, you need this, and it's
right.
how you want to, and it's like for her,
So the idea is like the dark saber, whoever wields the dark saber is the leader of Mandalore, and so the thing is, in Rebels, Sabine does give Bo-Katan the dark saber in the show, and she easily takes it. And now I'm thinking like, you're a little bit more well versed in Rebels than I am. Didn't Sabine like steal the dark saber? So she didn't technically wasn't the owner of the
yeah,
dark saber.
yeah. So technically,
Like she stole it
yeah,
from Dathomir from Darth Maul, I think.
yeah.
I'd have to rewatch
But
it
it,
again. But
yeah,
I think it was because she was not the rightful owner of the dark saber. That's why she was able to give it to Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan would have no issue with it. Now it
So
could be like
my question is,
maybe if Mando gives it to Bo-Katan now, like where she didn't beat Moff Gideon, it might bring them bad luck. Maybe it could be like something
my
like that.
my
It
whole
is
thing
Star
is
Wars at the end
like
of the day.
my whole thing is that like Moff Gideon, he's like a commander and he's old. Like Moff Gideon with the Darksaber got
So this
stomped
must
out by
mean
Mando. So how the fuck did he win it? Like I
maybe
guess
he
like
beat
just
Bo-Katan, maybe
but
in
justify
between
like.
Rebels and
But
Mandalorian, but
I'm
we don't know.
confused though. I'm like he's an old ass man and she's like a young fighter, like fighter ass woman. How did you win it in a legitimate fight? And obviously, if Moff Gideon brings in goons because he's like he's an imperial leader, then that makes sense. He's like, but technically he didn't win it fairly. How the fuck did you lose the fight? That's how I don't I don't understand. Like their skill sets are completely different. Like he's a general, he controls troops. We've seen that when he fights pretty bad. Like I'm not gonna say he's atrocious. He's not the worst person we've
I think
seen fighting in Star
I think
Wars.
the fight looked pretty good though. The fact like Giancarlo Esposito, he's not a very young man himself, but he's a really good
And
actor.
even if
But
you look at even if you look at the fight, Moff Gideon tried to sucker punch Mando. Like he tried to because Mando tried to leave, and then he hit the best part. Like this nigga has no type of honor at all. Like, why would you try to stab a man in the back? Like, so how the fuck did he
yeah,
actually
I mean,
win in a legitimate fight? Like, another
I
thing is
guess like I guess like what they're trying to do is like I think Mando was aware that he was going to try and stab him in the back, so that's why he was like being cautious about picking up Grogu. But then again, he could still slice your head while you're picking him up, so you never know that. So
that didn't
it
make
is a
any
little
sense.
dumb on Mando's part, but
I know,
still,
but I'm confused. How did he beat Bo-Katan in a legitimate fight? Because
yeah.
Bo-Katan isn't she supposed to be one of the
Also,
best like fighters in Mandalore or whatever?
like
Her status. Mhm.
I need to remember the timeline of the difference between Rebels and Mandalorian, because Mandalorian is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and I don't remember when Sabine gave Bo-Katan the dark saber.
But I feel like
So
when Sabine gave
so
Bo-Katan
I
she was
assume
still
that he was younger, but like I don't know.
I know, but Bo-Katan was still a capable fighter though, right?
Yeah.
Like in the
Um.
it's not,
Yeah. Again, like I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the age difference off the top of my head. I mean, if I do a little research, I can figure that out later. Uh, and I might edit it in just for the people to see what it was. But yeah, so it does set up some kind of conflict for season three about the Mandalorian who's going to be the rightful owner,
yeah.
and
It's probably
Bo-Katan versus Mando maybe, or maybe they'll stage a fight and make it look like Mando lost because he doesn't really care. He doesn't really care about the dark saber. He doesn't care about Mandalore
ruling
or
man.
anything like that. It's
If
not what
anything,
he's interested.
I'm surprised. Do you think Grogu's gonna ever come back, or you think he's gonna cut him out the show? Because that was like a majority. Like that was like basically he was a bounty hunter, but then
For
he
some people,
became.
it was his hook. For
Yeah,
some
I'm
people,
just
that
saying.
was the hook for their show.
Yeah, but I'm just
Um,
saying. I thought the whole point was like he's a bounty hunter. He doesn't have like a soul almost because like his soul is only connected to whatever payment he gets. But then when he finds Grogu, he kind of becomes like a father figure. He looks out for him. They love each other. Like because Grogu says that when Ahsoka refuses to train Grogu, he says because he has strong feelings for you, and you have strong feelings for him. Like
yeah, and
basically,
that
like
that scene with him taking off the helmet and looking at Grogu, who's just a puppet, and the actor Pedro Pascal did a really good job. He's like crying, like with a puppet in his hand, and it's such good acting. But like, I mean, I guess like some people are like undermining it because like Luke was in the room too, so people are a little bit more attached to Luke compared to the Mandalorian
but
himself.
my
But
whole thing
that
is
was a
like
really good. That was a really good moment.
like
In
I'm
the
just saying
scene.
like are we ever going to see that was basically like his son? I'm not
So like
understanding he had to get.
so the rumors in that Luke potential show is that Grogu he'll be training Grogu in that show. But again, I don't know anything about that. I'm not again like I've said it in my previous videos. I'm not a reporter. I don't talk to higher ups. I don't talk to actors. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just talking as a fan of
No, I'm
Star
just saying.
Wars.
I'm just saying.
But
But if you think about it, like Mando's character development from just being a bounty hunter to being a father figure, that was like I like that like progression in his character. So it's just gonna revert. I guess now he's gonna be like a civil right, kind of like a civil rights leader in Mandalore or
yeah,
something. But it's
and
like
I think it's like it's still he still has some conflict with Bo-Katan, and I think that could be an interesting story. Again, I'd like to see where it goes
I mean,
from there.
obviously his character can still grow, but I just like that you have the like almost like the serial killer um bounty hunter. We're not serial, but like the murderous bounty hunter, and then you have like the like where he'd make like he'd like make jokes and like talk to like Grogu in a very low voice, almost like your baby talking like your son. I thought that like the differences between that were like that's what made like Mando such an enjoyable character. That one thing he can be serious and I'm gonna kill everybody. Like especially when they take Grogu and he gets people he doesn't like. He gets people the dude that tried that screwed him on a or whatever Bill Burr's character. I don't know who that is, but I don't know
Yeah,
what his name is, but I
uh,
know it's Bill Burr. But
Meyer,
like
Meyer.
so he
Yeah,
does basically everything to get him back, and they're on like so it showed like you did all this to get him back just to give him. But I understand that's the point. But it's like, is that man is Grogu ever? I personally, as a fan,
we'll see.
I want sometime in season 3 that we see Grogu again. Maybe he doesn't have to have like a big part in the episode, but maybe it's just like Luke Luke sends a message from the Jedi Temple. Grogu's training is coming along swelling, and you just see like Mando smile or something like that.
Yeah, but then
Or
again,
you're like,
like you might get a moment like where it's like 10 years later, Mando and a teenage, like I guess like a teenage-looking Yoda, which which would be interesting to see.
no, but the thing
He's
is,
hugging Mando. That would be a really good moment. But yeah,
yeah, I guess that, but
we'll
yeah,
have to, again, like like they have a lot. They have a lot going on for Star Wars that they might come back to it. But we'll have to wait and see uh,
and like
about that.
again, like my issue isn't like Grogu's obviously like he's cute, but like I don't care about his like care because he's just like a cute force whip. Like I guess he's like an Ewok. I can't think of him as an Ewok. I don't really care. Like he's there, but like I liked how Mando changed from being around him. Like that's what I liked. But like
Yeah,
obviously they can do that with other things, but I don't know if it's going to be as impactful as it was when he had to get like I'm not gonna, I almost teared up a little bit when he gave Grogu and like Grogu understood that he had to leave and like stuff like that, and then when Luke said he wants your permission or whatever, like it's like oh he actually like sees him as like an authority figure like that's that that was
yeah,
touching.
yeah. I did. It's just that's Luke Skywalker, bro. Like that's Luke. Luke is the guy who would go like he'd go and fight danger like just to save one person who he doesn't even know, and he'd do anything to make sure that person is okay. He's not the guy from the Last Jedi who even like his friends from the rebels, including his sister, is in danger, and he wouldn't go and physically help them. That's just not who
And,
Luke is.
and be a
Luke is
dessert.
the
Basically in the Last Jedi, he's
yeah,
basically a deserter. He only does one good cool thing at
he's
the
a
end. But like,
hermit. He lost to Ray. I mean Mary Sue or whatever you want to call her.
okay.
He loses to her in a
So
fight, and then and then he I guess he does this force projection from far
I
far
like
away
that because
into the planet.
he
It
basically
looked
gave
cool.
yeah, he basically gave Kylo. It looked weird, but like he basically gave Kylo Ren his last lesson and then died. That's basically because the entire thing he's like shit talking him and getting Kylo Ren angrier and angrier, basically
Yeah,
stalling and like and then that's the whole thing. Kylo Ren doesn't know that he's basically stalling him until it's too late. Like
right.
that's what I like. Like
Yeah, so I don't. That's Luke Skywalker, and then I like how like Grogu when they brought in the R2 unit, it's kind of like it's like a kid like they get interested in something that looks pretty interesting, and then like R2 being in there because like this R2D2 did more than he did in the sequel trilogy as well. Like R2 in every scene in R2 in the sequel trilogy, he literally turns on, does something, and then goes back to sleep. That's all that R2D2 did in the sequel trilogy. So yeah, it gave Grogu an interest in going towards Luke, and they would take him, and then he goes off to the Jedi Academy, and whatever they do uh, post Mandalorian,
so
we'll have to wait and see.
What
But
did
yeah,
you what you think of the Ahsoka episode when they like save that like village that's like taken by? That's where they originally get the Beskar spirit, and she duels.
actually, let's. I want to talk about. I want to talk about Beskar in general. Like, do you think Beskar is like too OP, or like what do you think about the Beskar itself?
The bet the fact that
Because,
like for instance
there was in the Bo-Katan episode, Mando's like getting barraged with blasters from the stormtroopers, and he's literally just walking. He's like walking through it, and then he throws the grenades and then blows up the stormtroopers.
no,
So
I'm not talking about the first episode when he's inside the fucking snake with a bunch of depth charges and blows up and he comes out the snake. Like I understand Beskar is strong, but you're inside a creature with stomach acid and stuff. So that's gonna wear down the armor. And then all the depth charges that can blow up shits or blow up and you just walk out and it's just like the only thing that's on the armor is the slime. Like that's just kind of
like
like
yeah, I get it's like Marvel's vibranium in a sense, like it's a super strong metal that it can even prevent lightsaber cuts as well. Like you see Mando blocking darksaber cuts on his like forearm and nothing is happening.
and
Um,
when
and
Ahsoka
Ahsoka
duels the
fighting,
woman,
yeah,
they're,
with the
they're like
Beskar spear.
constant clashing with the Beskar sphere, and the Beskar sphere is
Yeah,
basically like
it can't
I
take
just
a lightsaber
I was talking
stab.
about how did the Mandalorian like it just makes you think how did the Mandalorians get wiped out or like deserted or whatever if your armor is this strong if you could walk into blaster fire like if you think if you could walk into blaster fire dual solar plasma from the kyber crystals and the Jedi like how the fuck does that like how do
Yeah,
they like, how do you lose? It's like if you think about it, at least
how do
like
you
with in
lose?
Mar at least with like in Marvel, right? Wakanda, right? When they have vibranium, it's such a strong metal, right? That they're still like they're still living. Like people think they suck, but they don't. Like they're actually like still they're actually very prosperous. That's like that I can understand it, but it's like I feel like unless you're wherever Mandalore got hit with the fucking Death Star shit, which I don't think it did. How the fuck did y'all get taken over or whatever? That's my whole thing. I'm not saying they're not
Yeah,
equivalent to the Jedi. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like just in general, like any droids are getting fucked up. Like what droid can like droids don't have Beskar. Like any any fucking stormtroopers are getting fucked up. We know their armor is trash. Their aim is trash. Even if they do hit shots, it's just bouncing off. Like I'm honestly confused. Like
yeah. That's what I was saying. I think the whole Beskar in general is a little too OP to the point like where if Mando gets shot, there's no legitimate concern if he's going to make it out or not. So I don't know what they're going to do with that in terms of that, but like that is something that I thought was something to talk about. But also, like you also see Moff Gideon when he gets scared about Luke showing up. He shoots him at he shoots one of Bo-Katan's people.
and then he tries
Sasha
to
Banks'
shoot.
character. Then he
Then he
tries to
tries
shoot
to
Grogu. Yeah. Then
and Grogu,
Mando was able to
and then
block it himself.
Mando jumped in front of Issa shot.
Yeah, and then yeah. So and Sasha Banks' character, she doesn't die from that either. So she has Beskar as well. So yeah, I mean that's the only thing is like I feel like Beskar is a bit OP, especially I mean maybe blasters, but like lightsabers too. Like I don't know,
I don't. And
but
then the explosion charges that destroy ships, like those the like when he's in the snake monster, he because he has to manually detonate them or some shit. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like these can blow holes out of like star destroyers. Why the? I understand your armor is strong, but like come on. And I know it might be like condensed because of like all the like the blood and fat and water and shit inside the monster. But like come on, I just don't think like
yeah, yeah, I get it. Um, so that's just something that was kind of bothering me. What else? So we do know that again, Baby Yoda is Grogu. We learned that he was a survivor of Order 66. Ahsoka says he was saved by a Jedi, an unknown Jedi. That so questions are: is it Mace Windu? Maybe we don't know. Samuel L. Jackson did say in the Disney Investor Day that Mace Windu did survive. So we'll wait and see about that. Uh, let's go back to episode 1. Episode 1 has the Marshal, Cobb Vanth. He has Boba Fett's armor. He bought the armor from Jawas. So I mean, the only question I have is like, how did the Jawas get the armor from off of
Well,
Boba Fett's body? I guess
well,
because
I mean,
he did fall in the Starlight Pit and with the armor on and the jetpack, but that's something that and that's something that they didn't really get to explain. Like, how did
I mean,
Boba
they're
Fett get out?
scavengers. I remember when what didn't C-3PO like break down or some shit, and they were trying to take like his leg or some shit like that. Like they're scavengers. So maybe like since it's Beskar, he's like so. Let's just say nature took its course and like the Sarlacc shit, right? Like so,
Yeah.
like maybe
Well,
like
the thing is the Starlight Pit. It takes like generations for it to digest. Which now
I
that
mean that
now that
would
you think about
explain
how does he get out in general?
if you if it takes
Because it's only 5 year difference between Return of the Jedi and the Mandalorian, and I found it interesting how Boba Fett was not in the room when Luke Skywalker was there in that scene, because otherwise it would have caused some conflict. Like if you because Boba Fett knows who Luke Skywalker is, obviously. So like if he was in that room with everyone else, then he would kind of point out, "Oh, that's Luke Skywalker," or something like that, and then there might be some conflict there. So I see the reason why they didn't put him in there. But yeah, Boba Fett, he does come back. They
he put
they
working
bring
with that club. That's the first
yeah
kill I've seen him get. When he's and
yeah.
another thing is how does a war club
This is the first time in on screen that Boba Fett has ever killed anybody. Because
another thing
in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, he doesn't kill a single person in those
another
movies.
thing
No one.
another thing that I don't like is like he's like cracking like the stormtrooper helmets with this like let's just say stone club or whatever like on the tip of his thing. My question is, you have one of the best guard with the strongest armor, and then the stormtrooper armor is basically garbage. Like it's basically like tissue paper. Like why the
Tissue
fuck?
paper.
Like I can understand like blasters going through it because that's like a laser and you can bullshit like how hot the laser is or whatever, right? But like this is a stone club. This is something I could make personally in my house if I had. It's basically a hammer, right? Like how?
Pretty
Why could a
much.
hammer? Why are you cracking through this fucking space age? That was the issue I had. Why is he cracking through the space age armor with that stuff? Unless it's if it's a Beskar like club, okay, it's Beskar. They could cap like that, but I don't think it's a Beskar club because he didn't. I
I
don't think
don't
he had
think
any.
so.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's smashing through the armor and shit and like killing them. Like that's cool. And just stormtroopers fuck them. But it's like your armor it can't do shit. Like you might as well be
Yeah.
naked. Like, stormtroopers might as well be naked. Like I can't.
Yeah. And they did bring back Tamora Morrison, who played Jango Fett in the Attack of the Clones. They brought him back to play Boba Fett in the show, and it's cool to see him back again in the Star Wars universe. But I do agree, and I also find it kind of weird. How was Boba Fett able to find Mando at that particular moment, at that particular time? Like, because he went to the Ahsoka told him to go to that Jedi planet, Tython, to find the Jedi Stone, and then have Grogu communicate with any Jedi that's around. So then, how is Boba Fett able to find Mando like that? I mean, because like we saw it at the end of episode 1 where Mando was like going through Tatooine and Boba Fett was watching him. So I don't think there was any time for him to actually put a tracker on the Razor Crest or anything like that. So that was the only thing that I guess that was like the convenience of him showing up was
You think? I
a
mean,
bit
to be fair, didn't
stretched thin.
Mando had got his armor, so maybe he tracked his armor. I don't know how he would track his armor, but maybe he tracked his armor through like because
Like
he did
his
have his
armor has
armor
a
on.
GPS or something.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Maybe, yeah.
like how he, because how he said like when he got his armor back because they were trying to prove it was his. He said this is my DNA is encoded into this armor or whatever like that. This is my father. This is maybe he was able to track it like
Yeah,
that. I don't like
right.
because he had his ship. Didn't he have a ship? So maybe his ship is connected to his armor because it's like this DNA. So he had a ship.
Maybe.
Maybe since his DNA was
I
encoded into the armor, He was able to
I guess.
with his ship because his ship and his armor were connected. I think.
Yeah. I guess that does make sense, at least. And I do like how Bo-Katan did kind of point out that I've heard your voice like thousands of times. Just that, like, her basically saying that she's aware that Boba Fett is not actually a Mandalorian himself. He's just a clone. So I did like how they tied that back with that. What do you think about Boba Fett's fight with Sasha Banks' character
Oh, he doesn't he
in the
stomp her?
bar?
Oh,
Well,
doesn't he?
it was kind of like even, like it was like even, I guess.
Didn't he throw her over a
She
table?
did she did pull a wrestler move because she is a professional wrestler herself.
My
Uh,
whole thing didn't he throw her over a table or some shit like that?
then no, it ended with like them doing fire like flamethrowers at each other, and then they just stop when Bo-Katan told them to stop. So it was an even fight, but yeah, I mean, that was something. And how did you feel about the all female team?
They had a
Try.
dude on the. I
Hmm?
think he died. They had when the first time we see Bo-Katan, they had a dude on the team. It was like three.
They had a dude guy, but he didn't actually show up in the last episode.
I think he died or some shit.
And I don't really remember. But I mean, some people had a problem with that. I personally didn't. I think all of these women were very capable of what they do. I mean, Cara Dune is an extra billion. Uh, then you have two Mandalorians and then a bounty hunter. Uh, so I think they were competent enough to make a team, and it was kind of natural in a sense, like because like Mando was going after Grogu, and the rest of them were
Loki,
just going after
I'm kind of
Moff Gideon.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't get the guy from the first episode to come. I thought he would show because he basically freed their town right
Yeah,
from that
that's
giant
what.
snake monster.
Because I thought that was going to be there too, but I guess not. But he's the marshal of that town in Tatooine, so I guess they weren't going to bring him back like that. They could still put him in later. I mean, because Boba Fett is having a show, and he took over Jabba's palace in Tatooine. So he might come back again. I think he'll definitely come back again. Episode 2, I think, was the worst one personally. That's the one with the frog lady and the eggs and the spiders.
That episode had no purpose. I did not like
Yeah,
that episode at all. Like, if you think about it, like it doesn't get them any closer to finding the Jedi. Or it's basically like I guess it's like a good thing to do, to keep a race alive because like that shit was. And then the jokes when Grogu kept on eating the eggs, like that was funny. But like,
and then and then but then he can't stop eating stuff, so he tries to eat a spider egg, and then that opens up all the spiders. And the spiders looks really cool. Like, I mean, the whole I guess like the special effects, the costumes, and the puppets, they all look really good. And it's just amazing to see that this is the quality we get in a TV show, which is it's like watching a movie, and it looks really cool. But yeah, the whole episode was not. It really felt like filler as an episode. Yeah, and then you get the next episode, which has Bo-Katan in it, and I think that's where the episodes start to pick up. Well, I don't know. I liked that episode, and then episode 4 was pretty forgettable, I guess, because episode 4 was the one where they they talked to, well, they put Grogu in the school, and that was it was a cute moment.
no, the only thing I remember is there's the kid in the class and he has macarons or something like that. And then Grogu wants the macarons and the guy says no, but then Grogu
And
uses
he
the
used the
force and
Force.
takes the cookies That's the only thing I
Yeah,
remember from that episode.
yeah. So in the episode, they did have like a giant test tube with something in it, and I was just wondering, are they doing the clone of Palpatine? Because in our Rise of Skywalker rant that we did, that'll be linked down below. We did say that Palpatine was apparently a clone, so maybe that is Palpatine. We don't really know. No, I hope they retcon the whole sequel trilogy personally, but we'll have to wait and see because we never actually get to know what that thing in the test tube was. So we'll wait and see what that is. Uh, but yeah, and that episode was not really memorable either. I mean, they just go in, blow up a Imperial base, and Mando gets his Razor Crest fixed, and that's it basically. Um, then episode 5 with Ahsoka. Now we can talk about Ahsoka. What do you think about Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka?
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
I personally, I think they should have chose maybe an actor who's a little bit younger, but I mean, Rosario Dawson still get clapped like that. That's like
Yeah, I guess. I think she did a really good job, and it looks impressive with the whole makeup, and you can take her seriously in a sense.
wait, Corny Booker. All right, we can't. Apparently, she's her partner is Corny Booker, so we can't. She's a fine Ahsoka. The show's gonna come out, but you lost respect for me for being with Corny Booker. Like as a black woman, you're with Corny Booker, I suppose. Like that's besides the point.
Okay, but
We're not gonna get political out of here, but Corny Booker's.
some people are a bit disappointed that the voice actress Ashley Eckstein, she didn't get to be Ahsoka herself, like because Bo-Katan was played by Katie Sackhoff, who was the original voice for
You said
Bo-Katan.
who? You said Ashley what?
Ashley Eckstein.
Ashley. Let's see what she looks like. I'm sorry.
She was the voice actor for Ahsoka for all these years.
I don't know. So yeah, you couldn't make Ahsoka look like this. So, but all right. So,
The only thing is because Ahsoka's not a tall person herself, and I mean both actresses are pretty short in comparison, so like it did kind of make sense to put them. But I can see why they put Rosario Dawson. But again, I guess people are just saying like because the voice actress herself, and again like Bo-Katan was played by her own voice actress for all
the
those
thing is,
years. But yeah,
Bo-Katan's voice actress looks kind of like Bo-Katan though. So like,
yeah, I
I
guess.
don't, I don't think that her voice actress looks like obviously like Ahsoka. It looks different than like Bo-Katan is Mandalorian is basically like humans, and like Ahsoka Tano is I don't know what race she is, but it's not like not really humanoid. So, but I feel
Yeah, I
like
guess.
I don't know. I mean, it was their choice. I feel like Rosario Dawson was fine as Ahsoka Tano. Her basically
Yeah,
being like basically she was like secretly doing stuff for the city, but then just letting people in the city die. It was like I didn't like that. Like I know she's not a Jedi anymore, but she's kind of like a what do they call a
like a
Ronin.
gray Jedi, like gray.
Yeah, I compare it to a Ronin, like a samurai with no or like a warrior with no master, basically. So she just goes around like she just fight. She does end up freeing the city with Mando's help, but it's like, what were you doing before
Yeah,
then? Like, because she's making
yeah.
because the only person she really had a challenge fighting was I guess the girl with the Beskar spear, but I felt like she could have
And
been
even
winning
that
there.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
She did have a well, yeah. She did reveal that Grogu was his name, and I liked how they every time everyone said Grogu, he would always like lift his face up like in excitement. That was an interesting touch, but yeah. Then they free the town. He gets his Beskar spear. Now they said in the deal that like if I help you liberate the town, then you train Grogu. And once they do that, she says, "I'm still not going to train him." That was kind of a dick move, but I suppose.
but she has a thing because she her reasoning was because of
But
his emotional.
I do like how like she did even talk about like Anakin in the episode
Yeah,
too. Like I've seen like someone be emotionally connected to someone and they turn bad, like they go to the dark side. And it was a nice connection to Anakin Skywalker. Um, but then then she tells him to
but
go to
I
a
mean, you
planet
also need
and talk to
that's
other Jedi
also
that are there.
you have to
But yeah,
think about it from a show perspective. If she says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to train him," the season ends there. Like he never gets captured. They never find out Luke. Like so,
obviously,
even
yeah,
like for plot, you need her to make it difficult. Like just for plot. Like
for plot, yeah. Oh yeah, Ahsoka name drops Thrawn, so we do know that Thrawn is alive, post Rebels. So what do you think What do you think about that? Do you think Thrawn will be a
Who is
bigger
Thrawn? Is Thrawn the blue nigga with the fucked up face?
the blue,
Wait,
the
who
blue,
is
the
Thrawn?
blue guy? Yeah,
Oh,
the blue guy.
Admiral Thrawn
Um,
or whatever his name is.
yeah,
So I have to see his face. I have to see his face. I have to see this.
yeah. It was
Oh,
in
this
Rebels.
nigga. Fuck this nigga. All right.
I heard he
This.
was. I heard he was really good in the books. It's just the show Rebels did not really give him a lot of justice. Yeah, but
I
it
mean,
turns out. So it turns out he's alive. We don't know anything about him because he doesn't show up in this season. But yeah,
maybe I don't because I feel like the season 3 is going to probably be the Civil War for Mandalore. So I feel like maybe she's
I,
setting
I
it up.
think I
Maybe
think
she's setting
Thrawn will
it.
be in the Ahsoka show though, because Ahsoka
Yeah,
is
the
getting a
Ahsoka show.
spin-off show.
Yeah, that's what maybe she's
Uh,
setting it up.
people are fan casting Benedict Cumberbatch to play Thrawn. I mean, I'm cool with
They
that.
want
He's a
that.
great
They
actor.
want that man. They want that man for everything. I understand because Benedict Cumberbatch is
I,
an amazing actor. But
he's a
yeah,
great actor, but like, yeah, and plus he has that Disney contract too, so I mean, he can use it up whatever he wants. I'm okay with that. But yeah, so Thrawn is alive. Then we talked about Boba Fett. Then the second to last episode, uh, they have a little tribute to Indiana Jones where they're fighting on the truck. Like Mando is fighting on the truck against these pirates. Uh, and then they get to the Imperial base, and I just thought this was weird. This was the weird thing about the episode. Like, so they said that they need to scan a face in order to give the Imperial codes for where Moff Gideon is. So Mando takes off his own helmet and scans his face, and he gets the codes. So my question is, so you don't need to be an Imperial officer to get these codes. You just need to scan a face. It doesn't matter, because I'm sure Mando was not in the system, but do you know what I'm talking about in that episode?
are you talking about with the scene when it's like then they have the drink and Bill and then the guys talk about how these people needed to die or something
Yeah,
like that and he just cleanse
before
them.
before that. So like Bill Burr's character, he was saying like he needs to scan a face to get the codes. But then he says, I'm not going to go in there because I know that Imperial officer, he's going to recognize me and all that. And it turns out the Imperial officer never recognized him anyways, but it is what it is. So Mando says he'll do the face scan. So he opens up his helmet, scans the face, and he gets his Imperial codes. And I'm just saying, like, the face scan, it doesn't, I guess it's not specific to whose face could be scanned in that situation. Like, it could be anybody. So, like, Ahsoka could scan her face in that thing and it would still work. Like, that's the thing that didn't make sense to me. Yeah. And we were talking about the last episode with the Dark Troopers, where Mando tries everything he can to beat one, and only the Beskar spear was able to break it. Then he opens up the airlock and lets all the Dark Troopers out. Did you think that the Dark Troopers were gone at that point, or
No,
did you?
the whole thing with the Dark Troopers is they don't have human. Like the thing is they need to be turned on and they don't have humans in them. So if there were humans inside those Dark Troopers, they would have died. But because they're like basically all metallic and all electronic, I knew they were gonna come back and like because they could fly. Like they have jets. Like we saw them fly into the space and
Yeah,
reconnect when
yeah.
they took Rogan.
No, because
And so I
I
knew
saw like some people were worried about that. Is like in their reactions like to the episode, it's like, oh, you set up all these Dark Troopers to, like as these badass robots with no humans in them, and they die like this. I never got concerned about that because like I know I also played the Dark Forces game. I know they can fly, so
but
yeah,
we saw they because when they
and we
take
saw them
Rogan,
fly in the previous episode. So yeah, so I mean, I just wanted to point that out. So we talked about Gideon, and we talked about the helmets, and then the post credit scene. They Boba Fett goes to uh, the Jabba's palace, and he goes to Bib Fortuna, who's now fat as shit for compared to Return of the Jedi, which is it's only a 5-year difference, but he got really fat, I suppose. and he kills Bib and he takes the throne. And then it says the Book of Boba Fett coming December 2021. So how do you feel about a Boba Fett centric show?
I mean, aren't everybody that else like so? My question is, what is like? Because Boba's dead. The other nigga that he killed is dead. Which we call Obi-Wan is like I don't is Obi-Wan still alive at this point?
No, post Return of the
So,
Jedi, no.
so
The only
Obi-Wan
question
is
is
dead.
like, what
Basically,
what is
like,
Boba Fett going to do? Uh, I mean, they they could go back to that Clone
that's what
Wars
I'm saying.
rivalry with Mace Windu, uh, maybe based on what Samuel L. Jackson said.
But then
But
we cheer against Mace. But then we cheer against Mace Windu because he's gonna track down Mace Windu because Mace Windu killed his father. Like I guess he could do that, but
yeah,
like
but like the thing is, Clone Wars kind of did resolve the whole conflict between Windu and Boba Fett in the show. Now I'm just saying that's just a theory. It's not confirmed, and I'm just saying it as like it could be a thing. But again, I don't know what the Boba Fett show is about. Uh,
hmm?
Also, this is old Boba Fett too. Like, there's nothing. I don't know how much stuff he can do in that show, but we'll have to wait and see. And we could talk about our season 3 predictions. So we were saying how now they did introduce the whole conflict between Bo-Katan and Mando about the ruling Mandalore. Um,
I think
they
they're
could,
gonna. Personally, I don't think that's gonna be. I think they're gonna introduce somebody else, like or introduce another Mandalorian that wants the throne. Because the thing is, Mando doesn't care. Like,
yeah,
and I don't think Bo-Katan would purposely try to do harm to Mando just for the thing. Like you know what I'm saying. So like, I
yeah.
feel like
So
they're gonna
like,
introduce a third party Mandalorian that's gonna
so they
like
did
that's
make it
gonna.
clear that they did make it clear that you don't have to kill the person to take the dark saber. You just have to best them in the battle. If you kill them, that's separate. Because we know Maul and Pre Vizsla fought, and then he decapitated him and took the dark saber, but he didn't have to if he didn't want to. Obviously, Darth Maul is not gonna care. But yeah. So if they have to stage it, they could stage a fight and just make it look like Mando lost the fight fair and square, even though they know he didn't lose fair and square. But yeah, then it looks like they'll go over the Civil War on Mandalore, so that might be interesting too. Again, we have to wait and see what it's going to be like. The Ahsoka show is another spinoff coming off of Mandalorian, also going to star Rosario Dawson. And I guess what I'd like to see is I would like to see Luke and Ahsoka together. That'd be nice. Um, Maybe Force Ghost Anakin and Obi-Wan. That'd be cool too. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it looks like Ahsoka's gonna be looking for Ezra. I mean, I don't know about how I feel about that.
That's what they said the plot was.
That's not the plot, but I assume because of Rebels, that's what she was doing, right? Well, she said she was gonna help Sabine look for Ezra.
Yeah, towards the end, but that was really just her own Jedi journey, though. That was like Sabine's Jedi journey.
Yeah,
Another
they might
thing the thing is
they might bring in
also in
Sabine as
Rebels.
well.
Another thing in Rebels is she fought Vader, and it made it seem like Vader killed her, but then Vader didn't kill her. It didn't make any. It really didn't make any sense because like they had the fight scene, and then Vader walks out, and he's like hurt, and then you see it was like a bird, right? Like it was like it was like something. And he's like it's basically like what he
Yeah,
used to call Ahsoka. And like I thought it was like the scene that she died, but then she came at the very end to train Sabine because Sabine wanted. Kanan said Sabine had to go on her own journey, which did, and then she came back to train her. Like that just didn't really make sense. Like either Darth
yeah,
Vader didn't kill her, even though Darth Vader was limping out, like he was limping like she gave him a fight, right? So either Darth Vader said,
right.
"Oh, that's my old Padawan. I didn't kill her. I just wounded her mortally, or some shit like that," or like that's why I was confused. That's why I don't really know if like I don't. That's one of the only things I didn't like about Rebels is the ending didn't make any sense because when Ahsoka fought Darth Vader, I was like, damn. And then when we see the bird, I'm like, damn, he killed her. So like if you already didn't think Darth Vader was gone, like Darth Vader is gone now. He killed his first
Killed his
Padawan. Like
last
that's
attachment.
yeah, yeah. That's what I thought it was. But then that's that. I don't know if they're gonna bring Sabine because I don't like that you're force sensitive, go on your own Jedi journey. Your master instead of your master being Kanan, your master is some random bitch that is apparently supposed to be dead but isn't dead. Like
Yeah, I mean,
and
my
then
whole thing is
it's not like she doesn't. Ahsoka shows up like she didn't call out through Ahsoka to the Force. Like she didn't have the whole seeing stone. Ahsoka just basically knows, and Ahsoka's like in white clothes. First of all, where'd you get the? All right, so we're gonna talk about Rebels some other day. But like, how the
some
fuck
other day.
is Ahsoka even there? Because when Kanan says you need to go on your own Jedi journey, Sabine like cuts her hair some type of weird shit way, and she walks out into like the desert, and then Ahsoka is there. Like what? Like why? Like she didn't call unless Kanan called up through the Force to Ahsoka, which I guess could make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll talk about Rebels a different day. But we do know that Dave Filoni is in charge of directing and writing the Ahsoka show. It is his character that he made for Clone Wars, and I do trust Dave Filoni. He really respects George Lucas as a person and as a director for Star Wars, and I
So you
really
feel like the
respect Dave Filoni. So I think he'll do justice. But again, obviously, animated show versus live action is very different. But I think he can. I think he can handle that. But we'll have to wait and see.
you're not, if this is that was the first character he created.
That was a main character that he and
Yeah.
Lucas actually created her together, like the concept of what Ahsoka would be, and then Dave Filoni kind of like made a little bit more touches to make her more compelling as a character.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
that's what so like you don't want to destroy your own creation. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. So um, I am looking forward to Ahsoka. And they talked about Rangers of the New Republic as another show spinoff. I guess that's about Cara Dune's character. Uh, I don't really know what that show's about, and they didn't describe what the show's about, so uh, I don't know what to expect. We'll have to wait and see. And Star Wars has a lot of content that they want it to do shows on, and we'll talk about those for a different video. But that do you have anything else to add to Mandalorian?
No.
Yeah, I have two things. So one I like these quotes that they put in the show.
To wield it takes a great deal of training and discipline.
But talent without training is nothing.
And I just like it because like it's kind of a shot at the sequel trilogy where Rey didn't do any training or just
She has
discipline,
one training
and
montage
she
at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, and she then she can use Force lightning and move Starcruisers. Right? We already talked about it. One training
we talked
montage.
about one training montage, and then she bested Luke in a fight, which was stupid. Yeah, we've talked about Mary Sue, I mean Rey, a few times, but that's a different video. But but yeah, that's pretty much all I have about the Mandalorian. I'm interested in Mandalorian season 3, seeing where they go with it. I don't know too much about Boba Fett. Again, he's an old man, Boba Fett, so I don't know how much you can do with it. Ahsoka, I'm pretty interested in that. Rangers of the New Republic, I don't know anything about it, so I'd have to wait and see. But yeah, those are different videos for a different day. Shaq, is there
And the
anything?
acolyte, the
Hmm?
acolyte. You forgot to mention the acolyte or
Well,
whatever.
the Acolyte is not a Mandalorian spinoff. It's meant to be before the prequels, which is supposed to be a Sith centric show. I'm really interested in that because we've never had a Sith centric
You think it's gonna be like you think it's
movie
gonna be like
or show.
you think it's gonna be like Palpatine like training like Dooku or something or like Paul or some shit like that or
No, it's before prequels. So
I know it's before, but like the thing
it
is
could
like
be Plagueis and Palpatine,
but like the thing is the thing
or
is
it could
like
be completely different, like Darth Bane or whatever.
I'm just saying like with Palpatine we didn't see like him like as a like But we could see him like take like Dooku and Maul like from their home and like train. Like we didn't see any of that in the prequels. Like, just like Maul is already like Maul in the prequels. Dooku is already Dooku, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't
Well,
seem to see
I
like
don't know. I don't know about that. Like, I mean, if they go with new characters, I'm totally on board with it. I mean, you don't have to tie everything to the movies. Like, you can still make your own character. Like, that's a good thing about Star Wars in general. Is like it's not really tied to an IP. Like in terms of like comics, like Marvel and DC. You can kind of mix things up as long as it stays canon to the universe, or like it follows the rules of the universe. So I'm totally fine with if they go with a brand new character. I mean, I'm speculating it's around Darth Bane. That's my prediction, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but I am interested in that show. It's all Sith centric, and we never had that. I mean, we technically had it in video games, but that's a different medium, and they're not canon anyways. Well, not anymore. But yeah, that's that's it from me. Shaq, is there anything you'd like to plug?
follow me on Instagram at BSG_Eddie. And yeah. So that's really it. The Twitter's coming. It is coming, but we don't have it. But just at DSG_Eddie for the time being.
Thanks for watching. If you like movies, TV shows, comics, and video games, support the channel by clicking the like button, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Also, share the video and check out the YB podcast, where we talk basketball, movies, TV shows, and anything that comes to mind. Links in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.